So welcome to class. Today we shall deal with vectors. So let's have two arbitrary vectors, vector P and Q, where P is given as P is equal to AI plus BJ plus CK. And the vector Q is given as DI plus EJ plus F along K. So the first parametric equation that we have to get is the angle between these two vectors. So we suppose that vector P is along this direction and vector Q is along this direction. Then they meet at this point. Let's suppose that is their origin. So to get the angle between those two vectors P and Q, we call it the theta. We get it by the expression cosine of theta is given by P dot Q over the magnitude of P multiplied by the magnitude of Q. And how do you get P dot Q? P dot Q is gotten by, you multiply the conjugates along I, that's I and D, you multiply together. B and C along J, you multiply, and C and F, you multiply. Then you sum them. And you get, this one will give us a scalar value. And the magnitude of P is obtained by getting the square of all the conjugates, then you add them together, then you get the root. That is A squared plus B squared plus C squared, everything, then you get the root. And the magnitude of Q is obtained by the square of D plus square of E plus square of F. Then after summing the squares, you get the root. Then that one shall give you the magnitude. So you replace what you get here, this one will be a scalar, this will be a scalar, this also a scalar. So if you put them in this equation and you get the cosine, that one shall give you the cosine of this angle. Then you get the cos inverse for you to get that angle. So let's have an example that find the area of the parallelogram formed by two vectors. Vector A given as 2i plus 3j plus 4k, and the vector B is given as minus 3i minus 4j plus 5k. So you have to get the area formed by that parallelogram. So we suppose, how do you first suppose the parallelogram? We suppose vector A is along that direction and vector B is along this direction. So we have got our B and A here. So where's the parallelogram formed? We arbitrarily complete this part and this part for us to get the parallelogram, such that this side is parallel to this side and this side is parallel to this side. So we can get the area of that parallelogram. So how do you go about that one? First, we need to get the angle between these two vectors, that angle theta. So after getting the angle theta, we can divide it into two, such that this one is a triangle and that one is a triangle. And how do you get the area of a triangle? Area of a triangle, if you have got the angle between them, you can get it by the area as a half A multiplied by B sine of the angle between them. Since this side is the same as this side, you can now multiply by 2, such that this one and this one cancels out. You end up with the area given as magnitude of A multiplied by the magnitude of B sine of the angle theta. So our first step shall be to get the magnitude of A. And how do you get the magnitude? We had explained that magnitude is given by the square of all constituent terms. Then you get the root. So A, first get magnitude of A. That one shall be 2 squared plus 3 squared plus 4 squared, everything under root. That one shall be the root of 4 plus 9 plus 16, giving us root of 29. That one is actually the magnitude of A. Then you go to B. The magnitude of B shall be 3 squared plus 4 squared plus 5 squared under root. When getting the magnitude, we are seeing the signs, since negative 3 squared and 3 squares are all the same. So you can just drop the signs. This one shall give us the root of 9 plus 16 plus 25. So this one is the same as the root of 50. This is the root of 50, yes? The root of 50 in that format. So you have got the magnitude of A and B. The next is to get A dot B. A dotted with b shall be equal to, you are dotting, so you multiply the terms together, then add them. So that will be 2 multiplied by negative 3. Then you add 3 multiplied by negative 4. You add, then you multiply by 4 multiplied by 5. Then you add them together. This one shall give you, this is negative 6. This is minus 12. Then plus 20. This one gives you positive 4. So A dot B is positive 4. And how do you get the angle between A and the B? Cosine of theta is equal to A dot B over the magnitude of A dot the magnitude of B. So this one, A dot B, we found to be positive 4. And magnitude of A is root 29. And the magnitude of B is root 50. So if you solve 4 divided by root 29 multiplied by root 50, you will get 0. This is 0.105. So that is the cosine of that angle. So for you to get the specific angle, you form what we call the cos inverse. So the theta, which is the angle between A and B, which is theta, shall be equal to the cos inverse of what we have found here to be cos inverse of 0.105. So theta shall be equal to 83.97. So that is the angle between A and B. So if you have the angle and you have the magnitude, you can get the area, and the area we have found that the area of the parallelogram is given by, this is for parallelogram, formed by two vectors, is given by magnitude of A multiplied by the magnitude of B, sine of the angle theta. These are magnitudes. So this one shall be root 29 multiplied by root of 50 multiplied by the sine of 83.97. So this one, if you solve, shall give us 37.86 units squared. So this area is getting in squares and the units we are not defined, so you get it in that format. So we shall stop on there. We shall have more practice in the next video.